Let's bring in Arizona Congresswoman Martha McSally. She sits on both the House committees on armed services and homeland security. So the French president says France will stay in the deal. Were you surprised to hear that today?
No, I wasn't. We've seen him talk about that, and he's been on a pretty strong campaign. Look, I disagree. This is a crappy deal from the very beginning, and President Obama and all of his allies in Congress who voted for it really set us up for this situation where, if you even listen to the French president, he's talking about how it's missing these other pillars, their ballistic missile activity, their malevolent activity in the region, and the fact that there's a sunset clause. And so it sounds like it's got 25% of what he was looking for. That's a failing grade in any area that I've ever seen before. So look, President Trump has got some difficult decisions in front of him. I don't want to get out in front of his role as the commander-in-chief, and he's working through with our allies here, but this was a crappy deal to start with, and Obama and his allies in Congress set us up for this.
But the Iranians have said that if President Trump were to walk away from the deal, that they would feel freed to walk away from the deal as well. Is that a good idea?
Well, look, we shouldn't be bullied by dictatorships and mullahs who are threatening. That's not the way we do business. As President Trump is the leader of the free world and having peace through strength, needs to make sure that he fights for our vital national interests around the world and in the region. And we're not going to be bullied around. So this is about ensuring that Iran stops its maligned activity in the region, in Syria, in Iraq, in Lebanon, and other places around the world, quite frankly. Their ballistic missile development, the cash that was infused to them by the Obama administration by this crappy deal and how they've been using it to kill people and terrorist activities around the world. These things all have to be addressed. There also was no access in this deal to the military installations and sunsetting in 2025. So this, again, was a horrible decision by the Obama administration. Didn't even bring it to Congress like a treaty. And President Trump is working through his options moving forward.
Well, in some ways, as you point out, the horse is already out of the barn before the doors are closed. The Iranians have all of that cash.
Right.
The money that was, freed up in their frozen assets is now in their hands. So at this point, are the president's hands somewhat tied?
I don't think they are. And we tried so hard. I mean, I spoke out and was leading on this issue. I voted correctly on it to stop this deal from happening, because you're absolutely right. We were strengthening and tightening up the vice grip on Iran. It was just starting to hurt, and then they let the pressure off and gave them the cash and basically gave them everything they needed with this, this deal that sucks. So President Trump has now inherited it. He's working with his allies for his options. He does have some decisions by May 12th. We're working closely with him in Congress to move forward, and our objectives need to be met. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. They need to stop funding terrorism in the region and around the world as the largest state sponsor of terror. They need to stop threatening our strong ally Israel, and they need to stop their ballistic missiles. So we need to use all elements of national power at our hands right now with our allies in order to make sure that happens.
In the meantime, is up around $75 a barrel over concerns about the Iran deal. What do you say to constituents who are going to be paying higher gas prices?
Oh, look, we are on a path to energy independence in North America and in America for this very region. I deployed to the Middle East and Afghanistan 6 times. I know firsthand the challenges and the dangers in that region. And so we need, in parallel, to not be held hostage by the dynamics in that region with our energy independence. And we need to give the president the space to make sure he protects our interests and our country and its citizens, which is the primary role of the federal government.
Congresswoman Martha McSally, good to have you on. Thank you.
Good. Thanks a lot.